Sex is such a stripped down reality truth bearing experience. It's basically a relationship to your own aliveness and power. Often, what's happening in sex and in the bedroom will be an easy place to see it and work with it because it's fun. And then it will ripple out.
Sex, erotic energy, desire, it puts you in the body. It puts you in relationship with yourself or with another person. It puts you in relationship with your true visceral yeses and nos and your vitality. So there's like so much that if you dig into this well and tap it, there's a lot of life force available for you.
This is erotic reclamation.
Space where desire isn't shameful, boundaries are a turn on, and curiosity is welcome wherever it leads. I'm Nicolette.
And I'm Carrie. And we're here to have honest conversations about sex, kink, relationships, aliveness, being in a body, and all the weirdness that entails, and pleasure that heals.
Because these electrifying, liberating, ecstatic, but misunderstood parts of the human experience are too good to hide. So, one of the most common beliefs that people have around sex is that it's frivolous. It's the thing that happens over here. It's the release that lets you kind of just go on with your life, or it's what you do in your fun time, your free time. But it's not necessarily something that supports the rest of your life. And our whole deal with an erotic reclamation is reclaiming erotic energy for life. And so today, what we're going to talk about is we came up with a top five ways that sex, erotic energy, desire can benefit your life outside of the bedroom.
Mhm. This one is really fun. I mean, this is why we work with erotic energy because it ripples out everywhere. It's like the intersection of the physical body, the mind, the nervous system, all coming together with, well, sometimes you do some solo activities, but with another person. And it's like sex is such a stripped down reality truth bearing experience
Mm.
that often what's happening in sex and in the bedroom will be an easy place to see it and work with it because it's fun. And then it will ripple out. So it's like you could go work on self development and improvement for being, more assertive or like, this is who I am and what I want. And you can absolutely work in those realms, but you can also backdoor it, which that was intentional.
I love that.
So, Nicolette and myself, self-identified women, we tend to get into very wandering, meandering, sidetracking. This is the way that we also like to have intimacy, like what's
Yes.
over here and we acknowledge that a lot of our listeners may be some of the more male perspective, but not everyone have a brain and a mind that works more clear. And so we're going to try to
Trying.
try to do these 5 points that are really clearly laid out because genuinely this will have such an impact in so many areas of your life. It's basically a relationship to your own aliveness and power
Mhm.
and where you choose to give it away, where you choose to take it, where like whatever that is to you. And we're going to go through and talk about the top 5.
Yes. And our deal with sex, erotic energy, desire is that it brings you more alive. So when we talk, we're coming from that perspective that like it puts you in the body, it puts you in relationship with yourself or with another person. It puts you in relationship with your true like visceral yeses and nos and so your vitality, so there's like so much that is rich in sex that we're like, "Hey, if you dig into this well and and tap it, like, there's a lot of life force available for you. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with in the realm of desire. In the bedroom, you can talk about what you want and know what you want, but this has very direct applications to your life as well.
Mhm. So, a big piece with desire, and that word can seem very even, your eyes might glaze over already just at that word. But let's take it out of the realm of sex. This is now talking about career. And
Mm,
what do you want? What do you want? Do not give me what you think you want, what your mom wants, what's available. And I get it if you're like, I want to be a marine biologist and you haven't even studied biology. Like, I understand your brain may be showing up and being like, I have to take that off of the list. But right now, and this is what we're talking about, even just letting yourself acknowledge what you might want, even if it's not possible, can open up so many doors. And this is where life starts to get really fun and really interesting because it's like, wait, maybe I can go back to school at 50 and
mm.
start taking classes. And maybe I don't become a professional marine biologist. I'm using that example because I mean, how many, everyone wanted to be a marine biologist when they grew up, but like how many are actually out there? So it's like, okay, this sounds really simple, but like letting yourself just be really open about what you want, whether it's available, quote unquote, or not, can unlock creativity and start like accelerating you finding opportunities that get you closer and closer to the life that makes you feel really fulfilled.
Yes. Yeah. So a practice ground, like using intimacy as a practice ground for that, or as like a jump off point, is valuable because in intimacy, you're physically with another person. You get visceral feedback. Like if you ask for something, I want a back rub, and then the person starts giving you the back rub in the way that they give a back rub, but no, actually, I want it lowered down. And can you dig in a little more? And hey, can you like pat on me now? Then you get more specific. That specificity ensures that you get what you want. So we work a lot with articulating your desires and being really specific in that articulation. And in intimacy, you get direct feedback, and so you can say, I want more money, or I want to be able to buy a certain house or property someday, or I want a promotion. But that very general desire won't necessarily send you in that direction. But if you can actually research the houses and find the house that you want and know what the amount is and be able to budget and find out what the mortgage is going to be and all of that, then you can actually work in that direction. So that specificity is really key.
Yeah. And the other part about this, I mean, it's multifaceted because what you might incidentally discover along the way is who am I to have that really nice house in that
Mhm.
neighborhood? Who am I to want to work part time when everyone else around me works full time? Who am I? Like, and so you, in this whole process, this is why it's so cool, is it's like a whole life like examination and like, oh, if I have trouble asking my wife to have sex with me once a week, what am I leaving on the table everywhere else?
Yeah. Yeah. And we talk a lot about owning your desires for yourself first and being able to get to a place where you can say, I want that house or I want that property, and work with whatever fears or shames or who am I's that come up around it so that you can be the person who would live on that property and what you would be doing to get to that place. Already you have a different stance in the world, a different perspective, a different mindset, and you work towards that goal, yeah, from a whole new perspective.
Mhm. And as we're talking, I'm realizing we're talking to maybe one kind of nervous system, but if you're someone who's like, "I know what I want and I go out there and I get it," but you might be, like, bowling people over,
Mhm.
losing relationships, you might be sacrificing your health, you might be working 90 hours a week, because that's the way you know how to get it. There's, like, probably another desire that's missing, like, I wanna spend time with my children, I wanna have a healthy and fit body, and so it may not be that you need more permission to want or go for, but you actually might need, like, a wider lens and perspective of, like, it's not just, "I want, I act, I do." It's like
Mhm.
there's a little bit more that can be discovered in this process without losing still the momentum and the making things happen.
Yeah. And, and this also starts to segue into our second piece because, if you are someone who bowls over to get what you want in the bedroom, that has a very strong impact because you're not actually sensing into and attuning to your partner.
Mm.
So in the second piece, we work with vulnerability. The gift of being able to be vulnerable, being able to be with high sensation and emotion, and being able to actually be, and not just from another person, though that's a piece here, but to be with your own sensation. So to be with your own wanting of a thing and the willingness to stay with the wanting while with another person also gives you that ability in life to stay with the wanting and go at the pace that the world might be asking you to go.
And we almost just called this one the ability to hold high sensation and discomfort. But we realized a lot of people have the nervous system that they've trained to do that in the realms of physical. Like you go to the gym and you understand that the physical discomfort as you're doing the reps is for your growth and
Mhm.
the physical fitness you want. And I will this can apply to everyone, but I'm just going to for a moment speak to heteronormative relationships. A lot of times your woman does not necessarily want more like strength in the armored sense. She
Mhm.
wants more of your ability to hold the intensity and this high sensation and the discomfort in the emotional realms,
Mhm.
to be able to stay tethered to the part of you that knows that, like, right now, it feels uncomfortable, but the connection and the closeness of heart open vulnerability really, 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 really unlocks your partner's body, heart for more connection. And that's not always taught. If you're taught to, like, go after what you want, that's why I like these back to back. You're not always taught to do that in like a and the hearts stay open and connected way, because that's, man, that's uncomfortable to clearly name what you want and be in the sensation of yourself and another person with that truth. Better than deadlifts, brah.
Ye
Or
Yes.
ladies.
Yes.
And I can say or ladies because, like, psychology, pop psychology language is way more normalized. I have avoidant tendencies, and so I get to remember this. It's not just the dudes that we're talking to. It's, like, vulnerability and the willingness for me to internally be
Mm.
with my sensation, my emotion, not have to fix it, make it go away, doing that and then revealing it. That's that goes beyond just the bedroom in the sense that now, like, vulnerability with your aging parents,
Mhm.
being able to, like, take care of them and navigate how you switch
Mm.
from being the kid to now being a little bit of the caregiver, right? There's one way that you do that that's just like, I took care of where they're gonna live and their bills and all of that, but you've missed the person.
Mhm.
And so this has applications beyond. It's like, how do I have action in the world and stay, like, heart connected at the same time, which are not always things that we think go together.
Yep. Yeah, a big one that happens is if you or another person has really big feelings and being able to be with their big feelings without reacting
Mhm.
or blowing out, just raging or storming out or like a very strong, sharp reaction, which has an effect in all areas of life. Of being able to hold that sensation of the big feelings, again, whether they're your own or another person's or both at the same time.
Mm.
And in sex, this is huge. Like there's a lot of sensation in sex, and we're so used to build, 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 release, build, 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 release. And instead, like to work with build, 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 be with it, slow it down, edge it, tease it. We love edging.
Right?
Pull back, pull it in. That all of that play can can majorly increase your capacity for emotional feelings, shock, big news, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this one's just huge. You can just think even micro moments immediately. If someone, your kid comes up to you and or we won't say kid, I'm not a parent, but like if someone comes up to you and they share how they feel, just how quick we all want, and it can be from love, but we want to immediately like do or soothe, or even the feel it, fix it dialogue that's entered can still even come from the like, am I getting it right? Of like
Mhm.
an immediate need to respond instead of just being able to like hold it and not, like, be the calm, the eye of the storm, or, like, the calm in the storm, whatever that is, or to be the storm yourself if you're someone who, like, mostly holds the calm, letting yourself have a little bit more emotional expression or range, also
Yes.
quite beautiful.
Yeah, and so this is like being able to be with your feelings, have your feelings without like blasting the other person with them.
Mm,
And and in a dialogue, it's like a feeling dialogue. And part of that vulnerability is you become like an invitation for them to step in and meet you there. And you can do that emotionally, you can do that physically. And I'm trying to think of how this could like an example of how this applies in a more professional setting. But I think about even in our business dynamic, when we've come up against this can sometimes like show up around disappointment. Like
mm,
one of us is giving the other person disappointing news or something, being able to be with like the disappointment and not like jumping over it, but all and not reacting over it or like, okay, well, how are we going to, but actually being with it so that you can make a clear decision as to what to do next
mm,
from a place of awareness and acceptance of the response within you to that. So you don't have to show your business partner or your boss like I'm so disappointed, I'm so,
yeah,
you don't have to like show all your feelings, but you can feel them and instead of jumping over them or avoiding them, use that as fuel for making a decision.
yeah, and, like, some of this is, like, not a one-to-one. I love that you brought this example because I work in a hospital system, so there's a lot of emotions that happen from any given direction, and if you don't have a healthy relationship with your own where you can maybe go later and deal with it or work with it or sit with it, if it's something that you only just, like, pack down, people can kind of feel that, like, your like a short fuse or a temper, and professionally, I mean, the way this shows up is like full clarity, calmness, despite the stress around you. Like, and I think probably a lot of people actually have access to that at work. And this is where it's really cool, where it could go the other direction.
Yeah, I love that.
Right? Like, it's like at work, I know how to be on my fucking game, and, like, they could be spiraling out, but I don't make it personal about me, and I don't get caught in their bullshit. Like, I stay so clear, and I know I'm not gonna be a dick to them because it's gonna make it worse, but, like, imagine if you had access to that same, like, clarity and strength and just like, "Wow, they're going through it." Doesn't mean I have to get ruffled when your partner comes to you with stress or storm or complaint, right? And not saying that there aren't conversations that need to happen, but there is something about being able to access that mastery of self in the sea and swirl of emotion. That's such a gift to bring to your partner, and we can kind of forget when we get in front of our partners, it becomes my needs, your needs, rah, 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 rah,
Yeah.
rah. And it's like, fuck, both of us have lost access to our, like, full mastered self. Like, we are such whole humans and we have access to that. So I like, it's like this can go any direction. If you're like, like crush it in the bedroom, but like I'm kind of struggling career in these other areas, like look at your strengths and where can you find that in your career or family or other relationships and vice versa.
So good. Yeah, and this is actually a good segue into our third point, because this piece of the my needs, your needs, this is where we start to get into negotiation. And in the intimacy that we talk about, we're working a lot with desire and boundaries, your yeses and your nos. This is constantly coming up in your intimacy, whether you're aware of it or not. You're constantly negotiating yeses or nos. It can be subtle or it can be you just made some agreements early on and this is what we do. We keep it in this lane because that's what we're both a yes to. And all of a sudden someone wants something different and what do we do with that? And we have entire episodes on negotiating. So we won't go into that, but being able to navigate through those things with an open heart, with empathy, with curiosity, with compassion for yourself and for the other person, with creativity. Those are all skills that directly go into life skills.
Yeah, I mean, you think about family dynamics,
Mhm.
like whose family are we spending Christmas with, and where are we gonna live if I get a new job, and what schools are we going to homeschool? Are we going to private school? There are so many, like, people in relationship are already in the nitty gritty of like negotiation,
Yeah.
and especially in that, which is relational, like this clearness of what you want, this mastery of vulnerability, of self and holding other, those things directly lead into a more positive experience of negotiation where you can find a creative way that I won't be flippant and say, "Nobody loses."
Mm.
Because, like, not everyone can get what they want in a negotiation. There's 2 different people, maybe 10 different people wanting to figure out where the family reunion is. But at the same time, there is a way to do it that is not bowling people over, that's not giving up and not even putting your desire into the pot. Like, there is a really creative and beautiful way to negotiate, that stays relational, which is important when you're talking about more family realms. Now, I can already hear the dudes, the business brains, the women. I'm not a dude, like a business person, but it's like, how do you make deals? How do you like, what about negotiating money and like salary? And this isn't saying it all has to be soft, like a soft, like, what do you want? What do you want? That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
The but I would say that in business, what actually moves things forward is the thing that you want that also gives someone a little bit of what they want, makes them an easier yes. And there isn't this like win-loss. Like, I don't win by you losing.
Mhm.
And again, I'm not in the money making deals, but like my man is. And he really does. He has no problem. I've seen him negotiate. And it is like backbone. And it is like I know my worth. And it is not like at the expense of them. But it's a like inner worth piece that is just like, take it or leave it. I know what I'm asking for, I know what I want, and that isn't like, I'm gonna take as much as I can get kind of vibe, which I just don't think really serves. We'll just plainly say it. I don't think I'll with the way business and capitalism and consumerism and billionaires and like I think we're all kind of getting tired of that narrative of
Mhm.
like the way in business is one person wins and the rest of us loses. Like I think actually introducing a way that you can still move towards what you want and honor the other entity, party, people, humanity on a greater is gonna be a fucking game changer. It's just a different experience than maybe what we've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, what you do in the bedroom with this other person, people that you love, that you care about, that you're, wanting to be intimate with, being able to come to that with a sense of self-worth, a sense of confidence, a clarity of what you want while also empathizing, bringing compassion, curiosity to what they have. When you're doing that in that space, when you get direct feedback if you're bullying someone, they're not they're not gonna have it, or if they do, it doesn't feel good. So so doing something that actually feels good for everybody in an intimate situation totally prepares you for what you're talking about, Carrie.
Yeah, like negotiating isn't wimpy,
Mhm.
which I think can sometimes get that like wet noodle feeling of like, ugh, what do you
Okay.
want? Ugh, it's not what I want, but
Um,
like, whatever,
yeah.
or this is what I want, get on train or get the fuck out, and it's like, that's neither of those really are negotiation, for being
No.
honest. They're like being a doormat or being a bulldozer. And again, I'm not here to tell you how to run your business. There are lots of businesses out there, and I'm sure a lot of what's out there is more in the bulldozer realms. But like, you know, I would imagine that even a half a tick more heart in your business negotiations would go a long freaking way
Mhm.
because the people on the other end are people too. They're trying to feed their family. They're trying to get loved well. They're trying to get through the day and feel good in their bodies. And, like, having a modicum of awareness with that, I imagine makes people, more amenable to be in negotiation with you.
Yeah. And for me, my biggest challenge has been around owning my worth in business and being able to state my price and be a stand for all the, what I actually the value of what I offer.
Mhm,
And that, I've really come to see that in my relationship, stand in my own self-worth. I just wrote a whole thing about self-esteem and my journey with self-esteem and building self-esteem and being able to get to a place where I could really be a stand for what it was that I wanted in relationship has for sure bled out into my entire life.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, wow, yeah, this really negotiation really is at the heart, like, it's like self-worth,
Mhm.
or it's just worth of other or self. Because some of y'all on the other side of the coin need to maybe see the worth in the other, you know?
Yes. Yep.
So, I love that that's where this is, like, boiled down to.
Mhm. So this next one is at the heart of it is vitality, aliveness. This is where we like to talk about the life force that sex is, erotic energy is, people talk about eros and there's all kinds of different languages for it, but really it gives you energy.
Mhm,
um, and it gives you energy so that you can feel good in your body and do life with more energy. It's
mhm,
just sex is energizing. And I I know like there's different chemistry and chemical stuff for a woman versus a man, just like what's happening in our bodies. But yes, refractory periods and all that. But ultimately it still is a source of vitality, especially when done through connection.
mhm. Yeah, like, I mean, like, the prime example of this is, like, when your kids are doing great and you and your wife are or husband are having sex and work is just like seems like you're in the zone or flow and it's like there's a lot happening but there it feels like a reciprocity with life where
Mhm.
it's you're putting out and it's also giving too, and a big part of this is receiving.
Yeah.
'Cause, y'all out there, like, protecting and providing and going to work and, trying to be listening to this podcast and trying to be vulnerable and asking for what you want, and you're just doing, 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 and this is where a, like, right relationship with receiving
Mhm.
keeps that in a state that's not depleting.
Most of us have never had the time, space, or permission to explore what we actually want, let alone how to ask for it from someone, negotiate boundaries around it, and finally receive it. The Temple of Yes is a retreat for just that. This is for people who simply know that they want more in relationship in the bedroom, but are intimidated by the process of actually turning it into reality. This October, we're gathering for 4 days in Austin, Texas, with an intimate group of open hearted and growth oriented individuals and couples who don't want to settle for good enough in intimacy and sex. We'll work with cultivating and honoring your desires, clearly naming what you want, working with any shame that comes up, as well as negotiating your F yes and your equally important no. In other words, those juicy, enlightening, important conversations that most of us were never taught how to have. If something in you just said yes to that, even a scared little yes, check out eroticreclamation.com, book a discovery call, or send us a message. The link's in the show notes. On to the episode.
Because, like, receiving the even if it's just the sun on your face, right? Like, because if you're in a period of life where you're like, "I don't have a partner, I'm not receiving anything," and it's like, even just receiving smile of a passerby, like,
Breath.
letting what yeah, the breath right now, the heartbeat that's, like, pushing the blood all the way to your fingertips. Getting a little hippie, but um, I mean, that's actually more science. Heartbeats do push blood to fingertips, but it's if you find yourself being a giver, 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 and you're like, I'm tired, life is burdensome, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I would just be like, okay, and this is in the bedroom too, so you can check. Do I let myself relax and receive?
Hmm.
And maybe you do. Maybe you're one of those people who's like receives, receives, receives. What is it life wants more of from you? Do you
Yeah.
like it's a reciprocity for this vitality. So if you're great at like, oh, I come home and I get doted upon and I get a blowjob and I get, like he brings me dinner and
All
like
the kisses.
all the kisses and the like pace of sex I want or like, okay, so with all of that nourishment, what are you putting back into the system? Like it really, because both are so necessary, and I think that's this aliveness vitality piece is giving, receiving is is the way you can stay full,
Mm.
nourished, or even more close to full. And again, I'm, new moms, kids with babies, crazy insane periods of life,
Yeah.
things are different. So, we're not necessarily talking that at all times you just feel wonderfully full. And I've definitely had experiences where I've been like, I'm so tired. I don't want to go to this social event. And then I go and I get so energized from
Mm.
social connection that it actually wakes me up in a way that a nap wouldn't.
Mhm.
And that's this like life force piece. And same with like, you might be like, oh gosh, you know, we haven't been intimate. I'm exhausted. I can't even imagine that. But if you know, get over that little bit and you get intimate with your partner, you might be like, Wow. Wow. I'm like buzzy in a way that I didn't, or melty in a way that I didn't even know. And so this is like, yeah, outside of the bedroom and everywhere. It's dynamic, I guess.
Yeah. And this can happen in your own body or even, like Carrie was using a lot of nature references. Nature is a huge place to do this. Any place in nature that does it for you, and you can access the sun on your face just about anywhere. If you have a plant in your home,
Mhm,
if it's like having a plant nearby really helps. But whether it's the ocean or the forest or the mountains or whatever is your jam, you can be fed by being with something that also has life force.
mm,
And then you can also do that in your own body. And the it sounds simple when I say it, and I know it's not necessarily, but actually feeling your body will do a lot for you. Carrie used the example of the gym, to not just go to the gym and check out, but feel your muscles working, feel the feel the burn, feel the your heart pumping, feel the sweat pouring out of your skin. To feel it, will bring you more aliveness. And then the same thing in the bedroom, to feel what's happening in your body, to feel pleasure, to feel good.
mhm, mhm. Like, let yourself enjoy, even like a steakhouse,
Oh my gosh,
like
yes.
a big, juicy piece of meat, Or if you're not an introvert, like city, like sitting on like a sidewalk and like people watching and
Oh
like
my
just
gosh.
absorbing the buzz of like other humans relating in a way that requires like none of your giving or doing or and just like, oh my god, life is beautiful. It's essentially remembering life is beautiful in the way that that happens for you, feeling your body, being in nature, eating a good meal, being surrounded by art and energy, and all of us have different ways of doing that. So that's another easy way outside of just a partner or bedroom
Mhm.
to help feel that. But again, we all I mean, we all know if you're in like a dry spell, as we all say, like you don't feel like the reason they call it a dry spell, you feel like kind of crackly and like
Mhm.
dried up like that plant you only water once every 6 months. And it's like nourishing, watering, remembering why you're even doing any of this in the first place.
Yeah, yeah, big emphasis on nourishment here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Alright, so our last one, number 5, big benefit of sex, erotic energy, intimacy, desire in your life beyond the bedroom is freedom. There is a great possibility of freedom through really diving into your sex and then taking it into your life.
I mean, we've kinda, like, woven this in throughout, like, the giving and the burden and the heaviness, and that can feel really constricting sometimes. Like, I can't just go climb a mountain alone and do the things I used to do when I was 20 and single. I have kids, I have a job, I have responsibilities, and, like, all of those things can be reasons we start to make like, our limiting beliefs, like, I
Mhm.
can't and it's, like, true, you can't go maybe climb the mountain and leave your kids at home, but when you start doing this journey into, like, intimacy and sex, it's like, how can you find freedom within the limitation?
Mhm.
And that's really easy to see in, like, a kink bedroom setting
Yeah.
where the clear rules or, like, playing ground actually then unlocks, like, everything else is on the table. Everything else, because you know where the edges are. So, it's like, "Don't spit on me and pull my hair, but otherwise, like, as long as you don't draw blood, let's go." It's like, great. Like, that if you focus on what you can't do, it's just like, you're gonna be
Mhm.
heavy, you're gonna feel like you're missing out, but that's, like, 2 things, and this life is so full of
Yeah.
possibility, and it's like, oh, there is actually freedom in the sense that my brain now doesn't have to, like, think about, "What can I do? What should I do?" It's like, just not that, everything else is at play. Like, there is a freedom that comes with restriction or limitation, and that can be a hard one to translate from the bedroom to life, right? Because it gets a little more esoteric with life. In the
Mhm.
bedroom, in a kink example, it's really easy to see, but essentially, it's working with the nervous system, which sex does, to find ease, settled peace, expansiveness with in whatever, like, in this exact moment, if you're in your car, if you however you're listening to us, watching us, you are surrounded by limitation. You are surrounded by the barriers of your skin, the barriers of the wall. You are limited by access to food available. You are constantly surrounded by barriers and limitations. Those don't make you feel trapped. So it's clearly like a relationship too your nervous system with like, "Oh, what if nothing changed? What if I never got to hike that mountain again? How can that freedom be an inside job?" And it can be. It's a discipline to find it, and there may be a grief process, like, there may be all kinds of things, but being able to feel free, fully yourself, at ease, peace, when everything else is happening will be probably one of the bigger, like, life-changing moments. Honestly, we probably could have started with this one, it's a bit more esoteric, but all of the previous steps kind of lead to this, and when it's that,
Mhm.
like, I'm good no matter what's happening in life, and I know we've all felt that in moments where, like, life is throwing us a shitstorm and a half, and you can just take a moment and you just, like, breathe, and you're like, "Okay, that is life, that's not going away. The only way that goes away is death." And so the finding the freedom and ease in the nervous system with it all is going to be something that then makes you be like, I can show up for these micro moments of sun on my face. I can show up when my kid is throwing a tantrum. I can show up when my elderly parent has suffered yet another fall. I can show up when my partner is like, I want more sex from you. And I'm like, I have been dry as a bone for 12 million years. Like,
Mhm.
all of it, you just become a little less reactive to, a little less thrown in the circus. Like, you know it's there, but you just don't have to get as spun out by it.
Yeah, and, you get reps in, like, I think about, now having been in a 24/7 dom sub dynamic for the last 2 years, it's we're working specifically in kink, but this can be in more vanilla dynamics too, but, like, through the navigating of here are the no's and here are the yeses, and we're within those parameters. Now we're constantly sorting for the possibility. It's like we're looking for what's possible now? What's possible now? What's possible now? And having gotten those reps in, that just has naturally flowed into my life.
Mm,
And my capacity to be creative and look for, n- creative solutions and possibilities is just constantly happening.
mm,
And so I think that, getting the reps in the bedroom, again, in a space where it's really intimate and you're there with another person and you're getting that direct feedback, then it flows into life. I almost can't help looking for it now. And before, I was always looking for the limitations. I was always looking for where am I gonna be rejected? Where, where's the door gonna close? Where's the shoe gonna drop? Where's the rug gonna be pulled out? I was always looking for that. And, or the next burden, but now it's, "All right, these are all the things, and where can I open the door? Like, what's the door that I can open?"
Mm,
So it's like I have a friend who talks about sorting for possibility versus sorting for danger, or sorting for limitation.
mm,
And it's like,
mhm,
when you're
mhm.
sifting through, you're looking, searching, doing internet search, or you're doing sifting through books, or like the book, like you're sorting for it, and then you find the possibility.
I love that. It's like that. Have you seen all those, like, videos? There's, like, cats in cages and the door's wide open, but the cat
Yes.
is, like, losing its goddamn mind because it's stuck in this one bar, and it's like, this is kind of the, like, perfect metaphor. And
Mhm.
I was talking about it esoteric, and then I realized I'm a freedom lover too. Again,
Mhm.
like, lean, avoidant attachment. That just was what kind of was given to me. And in intimacy and intimate moments, I literally play with space,
Mm.
right? And then in my life, if you set your entire life up to be free,
Mhm.
you will be so lonely. And I don't wanna say that, like, maybe some people don't, but, like, if freedom is the only thing you are prioritizing, someone else coming in, even if they're as closely aligned to you as possible, will land as burden at some point in your system. And I didn't I love freedom, I love what it does for my nervous system, so I prioritize alone time.
Mhm.
Like, it's a must. My partner helps me have alone time. It's a must. So if you have a nervous system that is wired for, like, I need to be alone to feel myself, then you have to take responsibility to do that just for your nervous system so that you can opt in to, I want to be relational. I want to see people. I want to be in the, like, sometimes my freedom is restricted because I have cats or a dog or a workout plan 5 days a week, right? Like, I bet your workout plan doesn't make you feel like constricted, so it's like a mindset shift thing and a genuine acknowledgement of what you need so that you can show up to the life you want. And that's the way you can work with it. It's not just like, now I just choose to not feel trapped by my life. It's like, no, let me be ruthlessly honest. I need 15 minutes a day in the morning just to myself doing nothing. And then the other 23 hours and 45 minutes, I am on for life's responsibilities. And in that 15 minutes, I am blissed out. I realized I didn't want to just be like, it's a choice. And it's like, no, wait, I actually work with this a lot in
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
pursue freedom more than love sometimes, which is can be quite odd for a female-oriented body, which has been confusing in this world of, like, upcoming polarity narrative of what female bodies want, male bodies, which is why Nicolette and I talk about gender, but we like, we're all so much more than
Yes.
that. And
Yes.
so it's just frameworks that help you find what resonates with you. And I'm a
Mhm.
big freedom-seeking body. And guess what makes that freedom so much more available to me? Being able to know what I want and need, being able to clearly tell my partner that, being able to have an open heart so that he doesn't think I don't want to be with him, being able to be negotiating about it and be like, I need an hour once a week in the bathtub so that I can be fully my best self. And then I'm alive, and then I actually enjoy the bath, and then I show up in my life, and my partner loves what it does for me. And so we both want to keep giving that to each other because it's
Mhm.
clear, it's understandable, it's not personal. And, like, that's ideally the way that you can work with this in sex or just life in general.
Yeah. Wow. Such a beautiful example. Boom.
Yeah, I was like, why am I talking about this esoteric? I love freedom.
Yes. 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 Well, so, we have this retreat coming up in
Mhm.
October, And the cool thing about a retreat is it's a long weekend. So you can take the time off work, do the long weekend, and you get that opportunity to focus on yourself and focus on some of these things. And you get that direct physical feedback because we're working with erotic desire. So you're going to get direct feedback and you work with these things in a deep level, nervous system level, like Carrie's talking about, and then you can take it into your life, directly into your life in these ways that we've outlined. So even if, you don't think that right now there's a lot you wanna work on in your life romantically or intimately or erotically, this is a fun way to explore some of these things. So if there's an area where you want to explore more of your self-worth or you wanna be able to hold more energy and sensation, or you want to be able to negotiate clearly, uh, identify your yeses and nos, be able to find freedom and limitation. Like any of these areas, you can find that, play with that as your main intention over the course of the retreat in a fun way, with
Mm.
cool people who also like to go deep, and then go off and take it into your life.
Yeah. Yeah, like someone who came to this retreat in the past claimed a desire about love and a baby and family, and came back to me a year later and was like, that opened up something in me I hadn't given myself permission to want fully.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that person has a baby and a family right
Yep.
now. And so it's, this works at all levels, and what's really cool about doing it in a weekend is this shit can be really scary. Not gonna lie to you. Like, y'all are gonna be bold, and we got you, and we
Yeah.
have a whole arc, and we do it really slowly, but you do it in one go. Because sometimes you start looking at this stuff, and it can feel so intimidating that you just stop. And
Mhm.
then or you're like, "I'm gonna do this 1 week and then go and do it another week," and it can feel just so crazy in
Yeah.
like, drawing it out. So there's something really special about deep dive for a weekend and then go do the integration of it in your life.
Mhm.
Because once you start, like, it there will be moments that you're like, "Woo-hoo, this is the high sensation part," you
Yeah.
know? And continuing to see it to the end, whatever that looks like, is such a gift to your nervous system and the whole experience of it. So, that's my plug for give it a weekend, especially if you have a busy life, because it can be really hard
Yeah.
in the midst of a like really busy life with kids and schools and jobs to be like, now I'm going to sit down and be vulnerable for 49 minutes and then I'm going to get back up and do some other shit.
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
man, it's going to take 47 of those minutes just to like stop fritzing out from the day.
Yeah.
So, I'm a huge fan of, like, regular consistent work, just like the gym,
Mhm.
but occasionally you need an immersive experience to actually show you what's available, and that's what this retreat is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we've got more info in the show notes. Thanks so much for joining us as always. See you next time.
We'll see you in Austin, Texas, October 15th through 18th, or next time.
Thanks for listening to Erotic Reclamation. If this episode did something for you,
Turned you on, made you think,
made you feel a little less alone, subscribe, leave a review,
share it with someone who needs it, and then come back for more.
because you get to want more.